Okay, this video is designed to help you with scheduling. Before you start any scheduling, couple of things. You need to be logged in as an administrator to do this. If you're unsure of who your administrators are, whoever is in charge of your district can add you and tell you your parameters for username and login. But if you go to main and admin users, it'll tell you straight out who the people are. Level 1 has complete control and can add additional admin users. Level 2 can do pretty much everything else. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is check my events so that I know exactly how things are set up, because the schedule will draw from how you listed that event for the judge time and the passing time and prep time, etc. So I'm going to go to ACT and just edit it right quick to look at those parameters. When I drag down, it tells you which test they take, holding time, prep time, travel time for that, presentation time or presentation time, and then judge time. Okay, so you can fill all of these in or not all of them. You should probably try this with at least one event and see how it works. But the prep time should be according to what DECA has allowed them. They have 10 minutes to look at individual series events, 30 to look at a team, and so on. If they don't have any prep time, like a written event, then don't complete that, don't fill it in. Okay, travel time, they're walking from here to there, whatever, you could add 2 minutes, whatever you want to do. I'm going to leave those at zeros, but again, mess around with this and see what works for you. Every district does this differently. Presentation time, again, comes directly from what DECA says to do. So if they have 15 minutes with the judge, whether it's 10 to talk and 5 for questions, whatever that total is, put that in. And then this one right here is how much time do you want to give each judge to kind of check their math, finish up, and so forth. You can add breaks into the schedule, but this just sets it up so that they're not back to back on top of each other and the judge actually has time to play catch up or whatever. So I'm going to change this to 2 minutes right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and click save. Now when I come back into event setup, or excuse me, event schedules, first thing I need to do is add event rooms. So hopefully you know what those rooms are, where they're prepping, where they're going to actually see the judge and so forth. You got to add those in. Okay, so next order of business is actually creating a schedule for the events. So I'm going to come into main, go down to event schedules, and set up an event schedule. You can schedule all at once, which I don't recommend, but it is an option. I'm going to do one at a time to show you how this works. So now I'll go to ACT as my first option and go to the event. At the first part of it, you need to add a new schedule event entry. As you have events set up, you can copy an event from a previous one. So say all the individual events are going to be in the same prep area, in the same judge room, and they all start at 9 o'clock and end at noon. You can just use this copy feature. But for now, I have to set something up to start the party, so I'm going to do that. So the first thing you're going to do is say that it's a role play. It'll automatically default to the date that you've specified as your conference date, which is cool. And then I can come in here and say it's going to start at 8:30, whatever you want to do. AM, and then end at 1 p.m. Make sure you change those parameters and then click save. So now for ACT, I have a schedule role play on the date of our conference from 8:30 to 1. So once that's in place, then you can add sections. In this software, section means judge. So if I'm going to do 2 judges for ACT, I'll go ahead and do that now. I can click add a section. I'll say that this is judge A. Oops. And then whatever room they're going to be holding in, I can say none or specify it. The more you fill in, the more information you're going to have on the reports. So I'll leave that up to you. So let's pretend they're holding in the gymnasium. They're going to prep in that one, and then they're going to present in meeting room 1. I'm going to add a separate section, which will be Judge B for this event. And again, I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to go to gymnasium 1, 2, and then they're going to prep in meeting room 1 as well. Okay, so now I've got 2 judges set up. This is where they're going to hold and present. I can delete these at any time. I can edit them at any time, and I'm good to go. Okay, Now I switched to a different district because I needed to use a district that actually had people that took tests. So that's why this looks a little bit different. But anyways, when I come in and I want to look at an event schedule for that particular category, I'm going to first go to this one because I know there's a lot of people in it. And notice that it's section 1. They didn't use judge A and B. They used a different numbering system. Here's the check-in rooms and where they're going and so forth. So now I'm going to click View Participants Event Schedule, and it's going to show you either by section or by time, your sort, what the participant name is, what school they're at, what their identification number is, their check-in, prep, role play, and end time. Okay? Now, based on what you've set up for this event, all of these numbers will automatically fill in for this particular event. Okay? Now you can insert a break right here and tell it exactly when you want the break, how many minutes you want the break to be, and click insert. And then I will insert a break right in there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that so that I don't mess anybody up. And then you can also swap people out. So depending upon how your district does this, if you want to keep all the same schools together, or if you want to move some people around because they have to go to a hockey game or whatever your situation is, you can go ahead and edit them in here individually, or you can swap them with another person. So if I wanted to take Borna and switch her with Taya, I can swap her and then pick the person that I want to switch her with and click swap, and it will do that automatically. It's pretty awesome. So that's basic scheduling. I just want to show you a couple of reports that you have access to so that you can kind of see what will work for you in your conference. If I go to main event schedules and event schedule report, I can choose the event that I want to look at, and it will give me this report. At this point, I can print that out, but a lot of times in districts, we don't want the judge or anyone really to know which schools they came from, so this isn't the best report for the judge to go ahead and show them that. You can come into your conference area, go to before scoring reports, and then go to sign-in sheets. And you can specify that there is no school and how you want them to sort. So it could be by time and section or section and time, whichever. You can mess around with these parameters and figure out which works for you. I'm only going to do one event so that this report runs relatively briefly. And I can do a page break by section. So if I have 3 judges, I could do 3 different reports for them. When I click Run Report, it's going to give me the student name, their identification number, the times that they're supposed to be there, and then this signature line is built into the report. You could print these for your check-in sheets for the people who sit at the front of the room or whatever, and then it will go ahead and do that for you. So this event wasn't a great example because there aren't a lot of people. So I'll go to one that I know has more people and run the report. And there you go. Now, there's a bunch of different reports that you can look at before you give teachers access to what's going on with this. This particular one is your event summary report. And when you come in here, you can sort by specific parameters. This one is by event. So this is a really good opportunity to be like, oh, PMK really should have more judges or whatever. Let me go in and modify that. Or, oh no, they're not really in the courtyard. They're somewhere else. So it's just a quick system of checks and balances to look at this before you finalize the schedules. All right, last thing I want to go over on this for the purpose of allowing your teachers an opportunity to see the schedules, you can go to Utilities and Set Up Preferences. And underneath Miscellaneous, you can check off that the schedules are ready for viewing. Now, you want to be careful with this and only show them what they're when you want them to see it. If the schedule's not done, do not give them access to it, okay? You're going to go ahead and click Save on this. And now if I'm going to simulate logging in as a teacher, when I go and list all my chapters and I log in, pretend I'm Andover for a quick second, there's a link at the top of my registration that allows me to view the schedule, and then I can see every single one of my students in alphabetical order, and when they're supposed to be where they're supposed to be. So this helps to prevent the kids that lose their name tags or lose their event sticker or whatever, and it just keeps everything more organized so that everybody knows where they're supposed to be and they're not um, late to their events or haunting people in the tab center because they forgot where they're supposed to be or whatever. Okay, I think that's it for now. 10 minutes is long enough. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Thank you.